Hello everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rainbow.
And we have 3 dialogues coming up over the next 3 days, and they're all about something I haven't done in almost 4 years.
Same here.
That's right, getting on an airplane and flying somewhere. I have a holiday coming up very soon.
Oh my gosh, where are you going?
I'm going to Vietnam on an airplane.
Oh my gosh.
It's so exciting going on it. Well, it's not that exciting,
It
but
is exciting
I haven't done it
that long.
I think this is the longest in my life. I have never gone on an airplane.
Same here.
Which is kind of crazy. But there are good and bad things about flying. Of course, holidays are great. Flying to see your family, like you sometimes fly to Hong Kong to see, that's wonderful. But the actual flying part at the airport, on the plane, getting your bags, going through all those different things you have to do, not always so fun, and sometimes we make it hard for ourselves by making mistakes. So let's find out about all the things that can happen before and after a flight with part A of our dialogue. Ryan and Eva are at the check-in counter in Terminal 1.
Hi, here are our tickets and passports. Could you tell me, is our flight full?
Hi, let's see. Your flight seems to be 3/4 full.
Excellent. Would it be possible for us to have a row to ourselves?
Okay, so before and after a flight, this is basically the part where you're in the airport, right? You're in the airport before the flight, you get on the plane, whee, and then you land, and that is after the flight. But the flight is the main part of your trip.
Yes, the flight is the part where you are on the airplane. So if people say, are you prepared for the flight? It's not just before or after, it's the actual entire experience during while you're sitting on the airplane that is called the flight. So you might hear the word in-flight entertainment, which is watching TV and movies when you're inside on the little screen that happens during the flight while you are flying. So let's get started with our article. The first sentence says, Ryan and Eva are at the check-in counter in Terminal 1. So they're traveling together and they're going to check in at the terminal. Now in Hong Kong there are many, well everywhere, there are many terminals, terminal A, B, C, but you have to check in at the terminal.
That's right, a terminal is kind of like a station, but often a really big station might be divided into smaller separate terminals. So at the airport in Hong Kong or here in Taoyuan in Taiwan, I think they have 2 terminals, and certain airlines, certain plane companies will use one terminal or the other. In other places, like in London, one terminal is for local planes, one terminal is for planes going to Europe, and the other terminal might be planes for going farther around the world. But basically, we have a really big place like a train station or an airport, and then we have to have smaller parts of it to kind of keep things organized, and those smaller parts will be the terminal. So here they are at the check-in counter. When you get out of your taxi or off the bus or out of the car with your bags at the airport, the first place you will go is the check-in counter. They will take your big bags, give you a ticket, do all of that stuff to get you ready to get on the plane. So Ryan walks up, and there of course is a worker there at the check-in counter, a worker from the airline, and Ryan says, "Hi, here are our tickets and passports." He's holding them out, he's being friendly, he's trying to get this done quickly. "Could you tell me," he asks as a question, "is our flight full?" So he's wondering about some information about the flight. If it's full, if there are no empty seats, because sometimes if it's not full, you can kind of use 2 seats. You have a bit more space. It's kind of nice when the flight is not full.
So the agent has to check. Hi, let's see. Your flight seems to be 3/4 full. So that's 3/4.
75%. So fairly full, but not totally full. A few extra seats. And this is good news. Ryan says, excellent. That's what you say when you get good news. And then he asks his question, would it be possible for us to have a row to ourselves? He's wondering if he and his friend Eva can have a whole row of seats just for them, to themselves. So not just 2 seats for 2 people. Maybe there's 3 seats. They can use 1 extra seat. Maybe they can have 4 seats, and Eva can lie down on the seats and sleep a little better. So, you know, he's asking for a small special favor from the airline so they can have some extra space on the plane. They might say no, they might say yes, but it's always good to ask. Let's take a break, and we'll find out the answer to that question.
Sure, I can arrange that. Are you checking any bags today?
Yes, these large backpacks.
Okay, here are your baggage claim tickets.
Right, we need them to get our bags.
And here are your boarding passes. Your flight is leaving from gate 14 at 7:45 and boarding will begin at 7:15.
Okay, so the agent is going to be checking the information and she responds, sure, I can arrange that.
Cool.
Are you checking any bags today? So when we check the bags, it's not checking. We're actually putting them in the little belt and then we're having them take them away. Well, actually, these are also the bags that we'll not be carrying with us on the flight, but they'll be sending those bags to our destination. And that requires something to be arranged. When you arrange something, that means you put something in order and you make it happen. If it's a schedule, you can key it into your computer and say, okay, I've arranged this schedule. If you arrange something such as your clothes or your wardrobe, you can put them in order based on their color. So arranging something is just organizing or putting something in order or fixing something or dealing with something.
All right, and the other thing the agent was going to do was to help Ryan and Eva check their luggage or their suitcases. Here, when we use check, it's a little bit different from the more common usage of check. If I look at something 1 or 2 or 3 times, just to be careful, just to make sure I'm not forgetting things or making a mistake, that is a very common way that we use check. You might check your pockets to make sure you have money and keys and your phone before you walk out of your apartment or your home, for example. But here, we're not doing that kind of checking, but we are being careful. But this kind of check is more like, I have something valuable, I give it to you to keep it safe, to take care of it for me, and then later I will come back and collect it again. You check in your luggage when you get on an airplane, sometimes on a bus as well. They take it from you, they put it in the bus, underneath or inside the airplane, under where you sit, and then a few hours later when you land or when your bus arrives, you get it back. Sometimes also, if you go to a really nice restaurant, you might be able to check your coat. You don't want to wear your coat inside. It's big, it's hot, it's uncomfortable. So right near the front door, you give them your coat, you get a little ticket, maybe with a number, and then later on you come back and say, I'd like my coat, please, because now I'm leaving, that would be called the coat check. They will check your coat and then give it back. So they're going to check in their luggage. And since they're going on a holiday, they probably have a few pieces. And Eva says, yes, these large backpacks. So it looks like they're going to be carrying everything on their back in a backpack. They're taking that kind of luggage or baggage on holiday.
A backpack is just like you would imagine it is, a pack for your back. So there are two straps and you carry it on your bag instead of a duffel or a suitcase. Backpacks are very convenient for when you're hiking or when you're traveling from place to place. You don't need to use wheels and you don't need to just carry it with one hand. They're a good method if you want to carry a lot of weight and you don't want to have a lot of trouble. So I can imagine that they have these very big backpacks, because if you're going somewhere for a few days, or if you travel to Taiwan as a foreigner, or you go to other places, you can be a backpacker. This is a person who only travels with a big backpack. So here they're putting the backpack into check-in.
That's right. And so back to the dialogue, and the agent says,
okay. Here are your baggage claim tickets. So these tickets that you put on the baggage and then you give it to you so that you can check to see that you have the ticket and the bag has the same number.
That's right. In case your bag gets lost or maybe someone picks up your bag because it looks like theirs, they make a mistake, those little tickets can help you finally be reunited with your beautiful backpack or whatever you're taking. Back to Eva, she says, right, oh yes, this is sort of thanking the lady and saying, oh, that's a good idea, let's keep those and keep them safe. We need them to get our bags. Yeah, at the end of the flight, when they take all the luggage from under the plane, that tag will help them find their bags.
And the agent says, and here are your boarding passes. Your flight is leaving from gate 14 at 7:45 and boarding will begin at 7:15. So we always get that boarding pass, that white paper that helps us get onto the plane, and again, we always have to check in, we always have to go in there a little bit before the flight leaves. So I'm glad that they've successfully checked in, and I hope they have a wonderful flight.
That's absolutely right. That boarding pass will get them to the right place at the right time, then they get on the plane and hopefully begin their holiday. Sounds great. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to have more fun and maybe some not so fun stuff happen at the airport in the next couple of dialogues. So do please come back and join us tomorrow and the next day for those. Until then, be well, safe travels, and thanks for joining us. Ryan and Eva are at the check-in counter in Terminal 1.
Hi, here are our tickets and passports. Could you tell me, is our flight full?
Hi, let's see. Your flight seems to be 3/4 full.
Excellent. Would it be possible for us to have a row to ourselves?
Sure, I can arrange that. Are you checking any bags today?
Yes, these large backpacks.
Okay, here are your baggage claim tickets.
Right, we need them to get our bags.
And here are your boarding passes. Your flight is leaving from gate 14 at 7:45 and boarding will begin at 7:15.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 flight 名词，航程、班机。My flight was cancelled. 我的班机被取消了。下一个单字 arrange 动词，安排。My assistant will call you to arrange a meeting. 我的助理会打电话给你安排会议。 下一个单字 check， 动词托运行李。Did you get your boarding pass and check your bag？ 你取登机证并托运行李了吗？最后一个单字 backpack， 名词后背包。I need a bigger backpack for this trip。为了这趟旅行，我需要一个更大的后背包。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 seem to be 加形容词，似乎是某一个状态。我们来看看这个例句 ：The vending machine seems to be broken。这台贩卖机似乎是坏掉了。下一个文法 Would it be possible for somebody to 加动词？请问有可能让某人做某件事吗？Would 是一个助动词，是 will 的过去式。当疑问句用助动词过去式时，表示语气比较客气、委婉。Possible 是一个形容词，指的是有可能的。我们来看看这个例句 ：Would it be possible for me to leave earlier？ 请问有可能让我早一点离开吗？最后一个文法 have something to oneself， 某人得以独享某物。我们来看看这个例句。I have an office to myself in this company。我在这间公司有属于自己的一间办公室。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，回去记得复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Ming Lun Taiwanese Pancake is on Fuxing Road. Its pancakes are less oily and salty and use very good spring onions and eggs. They are freshly made every day. The shop only sells a single original flavor. If you like, you can still add its special sweet and spicy sauce, soy sauce, pepper, or chili.